old jeans, boy, you talk about something. You get them wet and you didn't get them all partly. My coats and pants were all made out of that stuff, you know. But they'd just get damp, but you never got wet inside hardly.
Did they do their own dyeing then to make color?
They got to where they'd dye some, you know. But most of it is just natural. A lot of stuff, a lot of yardage they used. Of course, they didn't have much yardage. They just made so much for a garment. Like a pair of socks, you know, or something like that. They knit all their socks and didn't have to have no underwear. Old jeans, boy, I've got scars on my arm right now. That I got out one day and got a little wet, and Dad was trying to get my coat off, little old coat I had, you know, and a big old fireplace, and I had a big old log on the front of it. And boy, that old fire simmering along there, you know, and I got out here, and he got one arm out, and then he's trying to pull this other one out. And when he did, well, I just fell and run the other arm right back under that floor log there, and my neck went up against here and got burnt. You never went to the doctor then, boy. There wasn't no doctors. We get old stone bruises on our heels, and Dad would take and run his pocket knife. You never seen a stone bruise, I don't reckon. Big old boil come up on your heel, that thick part of your heel, you know, in there. You're going barefoot all the year. And he'll just get so yellow, and you just lay there and suffer from here on, you know. But when it gets right, they can tell, you know, when it gets just right. Why, he'd take a piece of corn cob and just take and run his knife down through there and let it stick out about as far as he wanted it to. And he'd just sock her down on there, and boy, stuff would shoot plumb across the house out of that thing. You'd think that'd kill a kid now, wouldn't you? Yeah, I suppose. Blood poison.
Never mind cutting tobacco and then...
Now, Fred, that's something that's the reason why I don't believe in doctors. Doctors all right, I reckon. But this was over here when I was over there in the hospital. There wasn't one thing done there that I couldn't have done here at home, and would have had done here at home years back.
Well, didn't they lose any?
Why, one die once in a while, of course, like stock or anything else. We never knowed what blood poison was. We didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, but there on that one trip to Oklahoma, you lost, 12 people that were on the trip?
Do what?
I say that typhoid fever that one time.
Yeah, that typhoid fever, though, that's something we didn't know nothing about then, you see. But that's in the water. That's just like taking those poison. You get that, and you...
But anyhow, they all decided they'd go to Texas, huh?
Yeah, that's how come we come
out.
And you see,
that's where Grandma Tucker was, did you say?
Well, that's where her folks was.
That's where her folks were.
Yeah, that's the far back as I know any of them, you see. I've seen...
Well, why in the world do you think what brought them out of Texas to Arkansas?
I don't have no idea, unless his grandpa, you know. He might have been raised there for all I know.
Well, now maybe that was it. Must have been something like that.
Might have run into her visiting there or something, you see, and married her. So them old people, once in a while, now none of our old people over that far back as I can remember there before I left Arkansas, there was no Uncle John on Dad's side, and of course that was Dad's uncle, you see, and that's as far as I know. Any on grandpa now on Ma's side, why there was her grandmother, my great grandmother, and her let's see, and her brother. I mean her uncle. He is her uncle. Them's the only two that I ever know to visiting on that side. But they'd come from Texas, so Grandma would go to Texas, I know that.
What happened after Ball Hill there? Where'd you go from there?
Well, we went went from there.
You started back to Arkansas, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we started from there and we went over to Telequal. And we got over there and Dad run into somebody there they knowed. So they stayed there for about a week and finally somebody put Dad to work. And he'd sold out, he'd made some money. That's the only money. I remember what it was when he sold his hogs and what he had there, corn and everything. Of course, his corn wouldn't bring very much, but he had a lot of it. So I think he got $190. I can remember that.
He was sharecropping all that time, though, wasn't he?
No, no. He was working for wages the first year we was there, and then the next year, well, he was on his own.
Oh.
He got rich.
Yeah.
So we went to Telequal, going back now. They was going back to Arkansas to live, see. And when we got back, when we got to Telequal, we stayed nearly all winter. And he just kept working. We had a team there, and that's where we got our horse stole when we were there. And that was the nigger stole that horse. Dad run him all over town before he caught him, and he finally jumped off the horse and run into the woods, and Dad took after him. He never did find him, but he seen him after that once. Run on to him in the store after that. He knew who it was. And Dad threw the chair at him and just missed his head, and it just smashed all the pieces against the wall. And that guy run out of the store and away he went.
Well, somewhere along there, you told about you ended up in Muskogee working at this livery stable. What about that?
You mean Dad?
Yeah. Wasn't that him that...
No, that's when they first come. But they wanted to, yeah, that's the time. That's all right. We was going then. We was stopped there in Muskogee and stayed a while before we went to Telequal. And then we was supposed to go from Telequal. And when we went to Telequal, we had Richard Ducker, my brother. He's down there around Oaktaw, and he knowed where Dad could get a good 80 acres of land there. If he'd build a little house on it, see, we could live in. Well, he wrote the whole deal over there to Dad, you know, that he could rent off the end in there and get the land for breaking it out, you know. He'd get 2 or 3 years on it. All he made off of it. So Dad just went, turned around, and fixed going there. He went to back over there to Oaktaw. We stayed there then 1 year, and then we went up on northwest of Oaktaw there, and the Lafayettes. That's who Dad was trading with. So they lived there. 3 years, I think it was, on that place. Then we went to the Cherokee Nation and stayed 3 years.
Where is that?
That's where we go to Keefton, south of Muskogee, 8 miles.
Well, what I don't know is what was the government saying about all these white people wanting to settle on this Indian land? Wasn't there anything ever said at all?
Wasn't nothing said about it.
Was it just up to these Indians where they decided you could just move in there with them?
I guess it was. I mean, and you never know how they lived. The government never helped them Indians any, and I never know that.
Yeah, but you knew it was Indian land, didn't you? Like you
when you was Indian
you go see so-and-so Indian, didn't you?
Yeah, sure.
You had to do that.
You could go to them, and you could get a place. You could get a place for maybe $50. You could stay on for 5 years if you wanted to.
Probably wasn't any paperwork or anything.
No paperwork.
All word of mouth, I suppose.
Just take it out. That's where I got this idea of trusting everybody, you see. My dad raised me that way. And I'm supposed to trust everybody. Every man is you're supposed to trust your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I've lost a lot of money that way. But I've never
somewhere here now, long about. But was this where he worked in this livery stable, or did he actually work in one in Muskogee?
Well, yeah.
I don't know why it seemed to me like sometimes he worked in a livery
that's
stable.
where Dad, he worked there a few days, not long, but he worked there a few days, and from this is a guy found out he had this money, you see, and Dad had a good team. Well, he had a whole block there in this wagon yard. A whole block now over on Cherokee Street there. I told you, right down Main Street. So you got Cherokee and it's right on the corner. There's a whole block there. And he offered Dad this whole block and his wagon yard and all for that $190 or $150, whatever he had, and that team. And he'd take a team and leave. And Dad wouldn't even do that, but then that all built up there. Well, heck, I seen time that there bring no telling thousands of dollars.
You get that question, because that's just the loudest they're talking.
Huh?
Yeah, it is. Well, about this time, you moved down where? To Oklahoma first, and then out north of Wainwright? Where was this?
No, we moved north of Oklahoma, northwest of Oklahoma, between Oklahoma and Wainwright. Did you ever know where that little old bug scuffle was out there? You heard them talk about that schoolhouse out there called Bug Scuffle, didn't you?
What do you mean, the one south of town, Dad? That's Pleasant Valley.
No, I'm talking about east. Out east of Wainwright there. You know where it's at.
Yeah, I know that's it.
What about these dugouts? Did you live in dugouts there?
Yeah, we did. When they first come, the second year we was in the Indian Territory. Well, we lived in a dugout that year.
You want to tell about what this dugout was like? I mean, you talk about dugouts, but
This one here, some of them they dug them in the ground.
yeah,
Just dug steps down, you see.
about what, 4 feet down?
Yeah, but this one here, a lot of them would just get into where there's a little draw of some kind, and dig back into the bank. And just level off back into the bank, If it wasn't too big a draw, they wanted to get in the head of it so it wouldn't,
Well, I was going to
if
say, what
it
about
got
the
up,
water coming down
it
that
ever
draw?
got up in them ditches, They'd try to get one to run off from a little place, and then they'd dike it up or something.
I see.
And so these we lived on dirt floor. And little old civet cats is bad around them things, boy. They'd get in there just thick. Run over the bed of a night, and one morning I got up one Sunday morning, and Dad was sleeping late that morning, and I got up and I run 4 or 5 out the door and round. I had to go down the bank a little ways and run up so I could get up the bank, and they just slipped it out a long place, and down in there, they'd dig out for their fireplace, and then they'd start in as little sticks. They'd take the long sticks about this long, and they'd just make it like it's making a little fence, Stack one on top of the other, and then stop that up with mud, and that was their chimney. And them doggone cats would go around there and they'd dig down inside of this, and have a good warm place for them to stay, in the wintertime. And so I went around there, and they all got tangled up at that hole, and I didn't have time to just come down on them and kill one, and I just punched one as he went in there, boy, and they wouldn't let me in the house for a week, hardly. If you'd throw a cup of hot water in your face, it wouldn't have been no worse. The tears rolled down my eyes.
What kind of roof do you have on this thing?
Well, they'd have some kind of clapboards, They'd have old clapboards or something on top.
Well, they'd have to use sod now over the top of poles or anything.
Yeah, they'd have the walls were built out of sod. That is sod. They just cut sod out of the ground, and lay it
this
in.
sod was no more than that prairie hay country.
That's all
they
it was.
just
That's all
cut
it
a chunk out of it so where it had lots of roots. Is that
yeah.
right?
You just like a mile. You just stack that like cordwood.
Yeah.
That and then on.
What was these? About 12 by 12 or something like that, you think? What would you
Oh,
think?
yeah, 12 by 18.
12 by 18.
Yeah.
Big chunks of them. That stuff hold together just pretty good, would it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And when it rained,
it'll never wash away. It'll try to grow on you.
It'll try to take off and grow again.
Let's do it. Take it on top of one another.
Seal it in there tight.
You got a wall from here on that way.
Now, there never was any deer around where you could use deer skin or anything like that.
No, but coyotes out there right now, they was sitting there on the dog bag. You could jump out right in the daytime, 5 or 6 of them at a time. They're just in that country just thick.
What about turkey? Was there quite a few wild turkey around there?
Well, no, not out where we're at. We're out on the prairie.
Right on the prairie.
Yeah.
About the only thing you had was those cows.
Cows, that's all.
Jackrabbits.
Remember Granddad, and after he come back from Texas in, after Grandma took her stay with us a while, and Hattie, after she come back from Texas now, they didn't stay down there too long because she had typhoid when she come back. She was sick when they come back, but she brung her anyhow. And she'd lay there in that bed in that little old dugout, you know. And they'd go to town about once a week, and maybe not that often. I don't know how often, but anyhow, they'd have these old pills about that long, you know, them capsules. And she just take and put one of them in her mouth, you know. They was giving her to her regular. And boy, when they moved her out of there, I'm telling you, there's a stack of them over behind the bed that high.
She wasn't using
She'd just turn over, you know, as soon as you take one of them and take it out of her mouth and just ooze it down behind the bed.
She wasn't taking
No sweeping out of bed or anything, you know.
How old was you about this time at up here west of, no, it'd be northeast, wasn't it? When what were you, about 18?
That was over there in
19?
Cherokee Nation, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Cherokee Nation.
Yeah,
Was Wainwright in the Cherokee Nation?
No.
Where was this line, you think, with the Cherokee Nation?
Well, it was over there about Oakdale, just a little east of Oakdale there.
The Katy tracks.
Hmm?
Them Katy tracks be about line.
No, it didn't run to the tracks.
East of the
We
tracks.
always knew where it was at. There's an old fence plumb through the country. Built right down that Cherokee line. The government probably put it in. That old fence. It didn't run straight. It just run angling across the country.
That was called the Cherokee Strip, was it?
Yeah, Cherokee Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Cherokee, and you see there's the Cherokees and the Creeks now, Oakdale and Wainwright and the Creek Nation.
Mm.
And Okmulgee, that's in the Choctaws.
Mm. Well, where was it then that he, what caused him to move down to Oklahoma, did you say? What caused Paul McCawley to move down to Oklahoma, take you down there? How come him down in that area?
Well, that's the time now, but the telephone turned back, started Arkansas and turned back.
I see. But I thought that land was out by Haskell somewhere. You talking about this Indian?
No, that was in there by Oakdale.
Oh.
That was by an Indian named Tom McIntosh. McIntosh was his name.
Hmm. But, so Paul did, sure enough, get this 80 acres.
He went down and built just a one-room house. Not as big as this room, probably a little bigger for all of us. And then he built a little roof out, and then on out there he built a little kitchen where we cook meat. And then he built a little log barn on it down away from the house a ways.
Was this all log, or had he bought some planks from the...
Well, that's mostly logs, and then me and him went to the woods and made the boards that went on it on top.
You made them,
Yeah.
hewed them out.
Yeah. Well, you know how to make board? Did you ever see an old froe?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyhow, it's a business. Comes out a blade on it, and it's got a thing here, put the handle in it, like a pick handle, like a mattock handle. Yeah, like a mattock handle. And you stand here at the wooden wall, and you just turn this block up here, you know, and you just split them boards. When you drive it in there, it'll start splitting. You go so many licks one way, and then you might have to go the other way to get it to tip back into there, you see. It'll begin to split out on you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going this way and splitting it off of there, you see it's going to split out. Well, I start turning up that way, and it'll get deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep turning that. This old handle, you keep working it like that, you see. And make your boards about, well, whatever they'll make. Some of them make, I'm seeing them make them not all 4 inches wide, and some of them be 8, 10 inches wide.
About how thick were they?
How they can, huh?
1 inch thick?
Oh, no, well, yeah, it'd be a half-inch thick anyhow, a little thicker.
Hmm.
You see these shake roofs around, don't
Yeah.
you? Well, that's what they're the same thing.
I'll say.
One of them sawdust, you see.
Now, what were the pines he's using?
No, old oak.
Oh.
Yeah, white oak or black oak.
Hmm.
White oak is always the best you could get because it's more straight grained.
Well, what'd you do about water out this place?
Well, then we'd dig down behind, you'd have a pond somewhere on there for your stock water.
Mm-hmm.
Go to that pond, you dig your well right down behind the dam. And just dig it down about 8 or 10 feet, and the water come right through that dam into that well, and that's how you got
It
your
was
water.
seepage water.
Yeah, the sea water, that's what it was. Old frogs and snakes in there, you know. Laying down in there, we'd just wall them up. I dug one after Mother was married and out in the water field, and me and her drank the water right out of that thing.
Did you line them with rock or anything?
Yeah, we just line them in there. But that's where them snakes would get up in there, you see, and lay along up the edge of the water, lay around in the rocks. Old toad frogs, you'd have to get them out in the bucket. And that's awful, ain't it?
Yeah, it's wondering a lot more didn't die than they did, I'll tell you.
Well, I know it.
Nature just built up a resistance, just like did the stock.
I guess they did. I don't know what else, Fred. I've said it about it many a time, you know. I'll live to see this time come, and I don't see how in the world if they got
If
some
they could
old
drink
out
that
the
water
doctor.
today, you wouldn't make it back
Well,
to the
wouldn't know
house.
no more what a hospital was, and nothing in the world.
Well, there wasn't even a doctor, I don't suppose.
Well, sometimes you get close enough, you get a doctor out once a week, maybe. He come out once a week.
Well, now, this Oklahoma, was there much to that place then or not?
Well, it was a pretty good little town. It got to be like Wainwright, you know, one time.
What made that thing start up? Do you
About
have
that
any idea
time
what
now,
made
well,
it
you
start
wonder
up?
why Wainwright started up, don't you?
Well, that was something to do with a land boom.
Well, that's what was Oklahoma.
Because the railroad, but Oklahoma didn't even have railroad.
Oh, yeah, Oklahoma had the main line.
Yeah,
They
Katie.
did?
Oh,
Well, I
That's
think
Katy.
it said, I can't remember. So they had the Katy. Well, what they have? A water stop there, I suppose, something like that.
no,
What
they
they
didn't have no
stop
water
those
stop
trains
there. They didn't have no water tank. They didn't even have no water. That's this out of Muskogee, so you had to get the water in Muskogee. And then they'd probably go to Shakota and get water again. On down the line that way, you fall.
Do you think it's trading with the Indians that started some of those little towns up?
No, that didn't have much to do with it because they didn't buy enough stuff. They wouldn't buy that.
Well, they was just a town every so often for convenience sake, was it that? I mean, they didn't have any reason to have a town there, did they?
Well, just North Farming there was. Harold was all.
That's what I mean. I mean, just for convenience sake.
Oh, yeah, they had
So that they wouldn't have to, they'd only drive 5 miles to town rather than 10 miles to town. Or
yeah,
something.
that's the way they done. Yeah, they could get everything in there. And you see, when Wainwright, why, they just thought that was the awfulest thing in the world when Wainwright even built up there, you know. Why, sakes alive, people come from everywhere in there. They come from out in corn countries up there to grow corn. Was they heard of that there rich land in there, you see? Well, I've seen well, about the time me and Mother got married, I've seen that corn just ricked up out there. Had everything full it could get full, and this ricked up in big, long, tall ricks, as big as high as this house. Just high as they could stand the wagon and throw it up there, you see. Drive right alongside of it. Just throw it up there, and it just there, but they'd run. I remember old Van Brunt had steam engine, thrashing machine. He got a corn sheller, and he come in there and he shelled corn all one winter nearly. There's Wainwright.
Well, after you left, what about, how long did you stay at this 80 acres, this Indian that you got from this Indian? How long did you stay on that?
I think we stayed there probably 2 years. That's 1901, I guess. I know that year Dad took us back to Arkansas.
That's when you said you were 16 then, when you made the trip back, or you was older than that then?
No, that's before. That's before I got that old, you see. That was after I quit going back there. He took us a couple of times back to Arkansas.
Oh.
In the wagon. That was our vacation, you see.
I see.
Go back to Grandpa's.
How many days did that take from there to get back there?
Well, it'd take us about 4 days to drive it. And then that stay a week, and about that many days back.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyhow, then the next thing was you made this move out east of Wainwright, is that right? From Oklahoma?
No, we come south of Wainwright.
South of Wainwright?
Yeah.
I don't recall you ever seeing this.
We lived there. We lived there. You know where Henson lived down there? You know where?
Red Henson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, down that crossroads down there, he was on the old, Red Henson was on the old grave place, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Well, anyhow, he went to that first section line there and went up there about 200 yards, and our house was back on that side, and we formed that 160 there.
Well, now, has that been broken out before?
Yeah.
And there's a house there? Huh?
Yeah, it has been broke out. But it is like a lot of that other stuff that we got in there by Oakdale all that time before we went away over there in the Cherokee Nation. Well, them land grafters are like the Lafayette brothers. Now, there's two of them. And they had a store there in Chakota that you could get anything there you wanted. Didn't matter what it was. You could buy anything there. You could have bought a sawmill or a thrashing machine or anything else there off of them. So they'd get it for you just as soon as you wanted. You had to, if they seen you didn't have to have the money. If they seen you know how to operate it, well, you could get it.
They had back you, in other words.
They kept horses and they kept everything, and they'd always take the feed in there, you see. Well, then you'd pay, they'd give you so much on your credit. All them old farmers done that, and then they'd sell that back to you, you see, and when you got you're making your crop, you had to have feed. Well, they'd sell that back to you 2 or 3 times what they give you. In other words, the farmers didn't know what they paid for it. They didn't ask them nothing. They just went and got a load of corn or anything they wanted. Everything that they had, they just went there and got it.
Right.
I've heard Dad tell a lot of times about an Indian that worked there for him. His name was Albert Blackston. Awful friendly boy. And he said one time there that they come up with a side saddle missing. They couldn't figure where it went. They said, all right, we'll just go to the books and charge every man with a side saddle. And they charged them with it, and this one once in a while say, well, I didn't get no side saddle. Well, just scratch her off. They didn't get it.
Your dad didn't look at his notes, did he?
No, he didn't look at his. No, he never looked. He didn't know what they were doing.
Was that sort of what they call a country store? And
If you need the horse, one went bad or anything, and just take it up there, and in place of swapping, they just say, go down to the lot and get you nothing, and turn that in there, and you just went down there and got you nothing, and they just charge you what they wanted to.
And so the old mercantile stores, they call them, had everything.
That was in Chakota up there. I was Bertha now, where Bertha lives, just across the street there. I remember going down there, about that far down, is where they had their feed, their big stockyard down there, you see, that they got their horses in their big barns and everything. They always bought hay and they bought everything to sell the farmers. All they done was take it in on a note, you see, if they had a load of hay, bring it in here and stack it up. We'll give you credit for it.
Never seen any money, did you?
Oh, no. so aggravated sometimes. I go talking about that the way that they done that. They all them farmers, they done them all that way. It wasn't just Dad. I don't reckon there's any of them hardly figured with them. Like that old Reinhardt, you know, that had them mules that run up there. That place where I bought up there, right out there north of my house. Over there, he raised the mules by the hundreds over there, you know, and they sell them around to farmers, and he didn't want no farmer to get out with him, you know. He didn't want to pay him all. You know, he wanted to keep back a little. And of course, most farmers are proud to get off, you know, owing him $10 or something like that. Well, then they could go get some more, you see. So old Cartwright over there that lived there when we was over there at Wainwright, was still down there in town. He went over there and he lost one of his horses, and he went over there to buy one, and go down and run hard and said, I want to pay for this horse as soon as I can. So he said, oh, let it go. You don't need that to do that. So he went over there when he got the money to pay him, and he just bucked up like everything. He says, I'll pay you. Or he says, I'll see that you don't get nothing else at all. Says, if you're going to pay for that horse, you ain't going to buy nothing else from me at all. Just told him.
Well, then you moved, you say, out east of Wainwright.